It has been nearly 3 weeks since the last Java Edition Snapshot released, raising the question of what exactly have Mojang been working on. The easy answer is the Armadillo, because we found references to that in the Bedrock code. Behind the scenes, they're slowly working on the Armadillo and its Scoot. However, it's also likely that the Trial Chambers is due an update, because there are lots of features they showed off in trailers that are not here yet, including something that an official Minecraft trailer just showed off, which seems to be a new mob that will spawn in the Trial Spawners, because we've never seen anything like this. What is the deal with the Armadillo, the Trial Chamber, and its seemingly new mob? Well, let's explain that today. By the way, you can subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest in Minecraft news, because there are just 3 snapshots left in the year, and I'll of course be covering them right here on this channel. And what we're expecting the next one is perhaps big, because 1.20.3 has finally gone into release candidate status, which means that they can now go back to working on snapshots. It's not that they've just taken a 2-week break for Thanksgiving, I hope at the very least. It seems as though while they're pre-releasing or indeed release candidating an update, they do not publicly release snapshots, meaning we have to wait for 1.20.3 to release, which we're expecting next Tuesday alongside the new Bedrock update, before we'll see new snapshots and betas with actual new features, which is incredibly exciting because we are expecting to see the Armadillo or an Armadillo Scoot, largely because this is one of the features we know will be in the update, and also we have seen all of these hints emerge, including one from this week. It is in the add-on documentation, as revealed by Smokey Stack, that there is an Armadillo Scoot directly referenced, and indeed there are other pieces of information about it there, but the fact that now even the documentation for the other stuff is including it means it's very likely to be in this update, and indeed very likely is working, just not in public development versions. Generally, Bedrock and Java try to release the features in their snapshots at the same time, and so it could have been working on Bedrock this past week. Indeed, it could be working on Java too, but we can't see it because they're busy releasing a much more important update in their eyes. However, the question of what the Armadillo armor will do, whether it will be trimmable or not, is a really interesting one. Just to quickly answer this, I think the easy answer to whether the Armadillo armor will have a trim is, do you think it is more like horse armor or regular armor? Horse armor is not trimmable because it's just one piece that goes onto a horse. Is a, wolf armor going to be the same thing, or is it going to be multiple pieces, or is it going to break the rule and be one piece but you can trim it anyway because people love customizing their dogs? These are the big questions, but the other big question is from Chromotome. Armadillos aside, Mojang has implemented 1.21's confirmed features. I think we can expect to see new ones announced in future snapshots. This is very true, and it's one of the most exciting points in the snapshot process now. Once they've gone through everything that they've announced, it means they can work on the things that they'd like to do, but they're worried about announcing. In the case of 1.19, we saw them announce and release the Cherry Grove biome and archaeology, 2 features which we were not expecting to see in 1.19. They technically both been announced in the past, 10 years ago or 3 years ago, but we weren't expecting them, and so that is the exciting part of the snapshot process. However, before we can get to the exciting announcements of what they're working on secretly and what's going to be added to 1.21, we do have to get through all of the existing features, and there is a bit of a flaw in this question, which is that it's not just armadillos that Mojang is missing, because they have announced both secretly and publicly quite a few other features, and so for a brief overview, I think this trailer shows off a lot.
Some rooms are filled with a cunning new device called Trial Spawners. These pesky devices spawn waves of mobs for you to defeat.
This clip is a great example of that too, because as you can see, if we slow it down, there are copper trapdoors everywhere on the entrance, something which was shown at Minecraft Live as one of the key and fearsome characteristics of the Breeze, but yet we do not have a trial chamber with that, so there are more trial chambers or trial chamber variants to come. Some of those will presumably also feature redstone lamps. Currently we have yet to see one of those, and also the current layout of the trial chambers hints there are going to be entrance, exits, or some form of use for the trial key. However, on top of all of those tiny hints, we have a much more direct one at a brand new mob that can spawn in the trial chambers. The hint came in that exact same 10 seconds from earlier. As you already know, the trial spawner spawns different blocks around it based on the mob inside, but this trial spawner has tough bricks around it. That might sound a lot to you like the Breeze, but funnily enough, the Breeze has chisel tough, and if you look at every other type of spawner we have right now, there is no type of mob that spawns on tough bricks. This makes it very likely that Minecraft has showed us a new type of mob will be spawning in the trial chambers, and indeed it will have a new chamber altogether, it seems. However, to be fair, you might be saying, well, it's tough brick, and if the Breeze is chisel tough, maybe that was a pre-development version. After all, this trailer is a couple of weeks old now. However, if you take a look later on in the very same trailer, you'll notice that there is a Breeze spawner, and that Breeze spawner has the chisel tough. Now, it is entirely possible they just changed the Breeze's trial spawner midway through development, and that would explain why why there's something that looks like a breeze in that initial spawner. If you slow down the footage and peek between the bars, it does look like there's something like a breeze inside there already, and so this makes me think that if there is going to be a brand new mob, given that it is such a similar block, tough bricks to chisel tough, and clearly it is in a room that is conducive to breeze activity, i.e. all the trapdoors and the redstone lamps, maybe there is another breeze variant, or maybe a grand breeze. Remember when Minecraft did their mob vote and they said we could never add the other 3 mobs to the game? I think I'm not alone in saying that my favorite mob that they can never add to the game is the Grand Blaze, the giant one from the Nether. However, they could add a similar version of this if they make it the breeze instead. That's my personal hopes and theories, but what we can say for sure is the armadillo is yet to come, a new trial chamber room is yet to come, and some form of new trial spawner seems likely that it is going to come. Also, speaking of likely to come, I think Mojang look at the snapshots and the feedback and kind of measure things based on those, which is why many people are confused at the copper bulb situation, where the entire community, or the large parts of it, are saying we would like it in this way, and Mojang is saying nah, we won't. And so Killer says, isn't the whole point of a snapshot so they can have community feedback? A lot of people were saying things like that, but I'd also like to say the exact opposite thing is true, which is that it is literally in a snapshot, which means it's subject to change. Lamau, why are people acting so entitled? God, it's annoying. We'll skip the complaint about the Minecraft community and instead focus on the fact that yes, both of these 2 points are seemingly opposite but true at the same time. Things in snapshots are subject to change, that is the whole point of snapshots, but also ideally Mojang should make those changes based on community feedback. However, that does not mean they are tied and entitled to make sure that everything in a snapshot perfectly fits what you, the community, wants, and the reason behind that is because if they did, they wouldn't be a game development studio making interesting game development decisions and game design and all that stuff. All they would be is a democratic organization implementing the will of the people, and that might sound like a good thing, but if the mob votes are anything to go by, I'm sure we would end up trading the trial chambers as a structure so that we could have some llama armor, and as much as I love the rhyme, I do have to say, community feedback isn't necessarily the best of things, and sometimes, although I don't like it, I think parity can be quite important, which is why Vendetta Killer wants Mojang to add a new combat system in 1.21 that combines Java and Bedrock more. Right now, it is very jarring to go between the 2 systems and go from having to time your stuff perfectly to just spamming however you like. It's something they could easily fix, and especially given that 1.21 is the update for... It makes sense to me that in the second half of the update, you know, whatever's being worked on right now but isn't publicly revealed, it would make sense if they're making some changes to bring parity between the combats. The obvious ideal version of this would be the Combat Update V2. I covered that in a full video, one of the more controversial ones on the channel seemingly, but the Combat Update V2 they're working on a while ago. Jeb spent a lot of time working on that, and maybe this could be a more refined version of that, but even if it's not, I'm sure if they're making this much effort to bring redstone parity when 90% of the community hates it, I'm sure they're going to put some work into bringing combat parity because a similar number of people would probably like it. Speaking of liking it, a lot of people liked this random meme that I use for engagement. It's one of the things I do when announcing community posts here. I showed the what players see versus what Mojang sees image here, and it's one of the interesting points about how the door recipe in Minecraft is clearly 6 blocks, and for some reason it makes multiple doors. This is the inverse of the stair recipe, where many people actually felt it was fair when you use 6 wood to craft a single door, and so when Mojang upped it to 3, people questioned, but where do they come from? It doesn't really make too much sense, but whatever, you get 3 doors, and I have a very big question, which I share with Aprazor. What house has 3 doors? I always throw away the 3rd, and interestingly, I never thought about it till I saw this one from Kareem's Lockdown Tree 2564, which is, to be fair, it's 2 doors for the front and 1 for the back. It makes sense. Sure, not everyone has a second entrance, but if you do, it's convenient, and I thought this comment was a great example of looking on the upside, because I mean, if I was designing Minecraft, I would probably say that, you know, 2 or 3 doors, it's not a big difference, and 2 would be much less annoying. However, something interesting that I want to go into is I want to know how 6 planks makes 3 doors, as this recipe proves, but only 2 trapdoors, even though trapdoors are half the size. Indeed, if you really think about it, 2 blocks should make 3 doors, because a door is much thinner than a 1/3 of a plank, and indeed 2 planks stacked up together is already a door. Why does it take 6 planks to begin with? But even more confusingly, why does it take 6 planks to make a trapdoor, and why do you get 2 from it? internet. This is obviously most ridiculous because of the copper trapdoor being one of the most expensive things you can craft in Minecraft, but I really do want to question why, how, what, where, when. This is one of those things where I don't think Mojang has some grand creative vision. I think it is just really tricky to work out how to change every single crafting recipe, because obviously 2 wood next to each other actually makes a pressure plate right now, but I think they need to work out a better recipe than 6 wood and then just throwing away 4 of those pieces of wood and then taking each of the 2 pieces of wood you have remaining and throwing away 90% of each of them. What sense does it make, Mojang? Anyway, this is something I could yell about forever, but instead I want to move into the next question from Nick1752. Your voice is so energized. I'm getting tired just by listening to it. Sorry for the rude comment though, your content is great, that's why I watch. But I mean, it's just difficult. You can change your tone from time to time, you know? I guess you are right. I could do that, and that would make the video better. Just like when I move into the next question here from Watchy Fanning. This is unrelated to the particular video, but something I like about your videos are the occasional philosophical discussions. Do you have a playlist which compiles all of the videos where you get deep? If you want to have these longer form discussions, and indeed that's where it tends to get philosophical, you can find the unlisted live streams playlist on this channel. It's over there on the playlist section. In fact, going to the channel is where you can find a lot of things, including the member exclusive videos, something I would recommend. However, something else I'd recommend is this comment from TriangBurger19, because they had the exact same thought on another video that maybe they could recycle the idea of a boss blaze by making a boss breeze or something, and I just thought it was fun that we agreed on this. You know, there's nothing I can answer in this question besides yes, I like that idea. However, something that a lot of people have when they hear about Mojang and the issues they're going through is, you know what, why don't we wait for other games? I've been seeing a lot of negativity saying, haha, Minecraft sales will be through the floor when Hytale comes out, and this comment is a great example. They say they like the amount of care being put into the game by the whole dev team, and they can hardly imagine how beautiful it is going to be coming out. It might even overtake Minecraft in some aspects if Mojang continue to drop the ball and fail to pick it back up. And so you might be interested to learn that Hytale actually put out a development update this week. This is the Winter 2023 development update, letting us know what's going on, and as we all know, Hytale was announced so long ago, it must be close to finished by now. However, what they actually said is in the first half of 2021, they realized they needed to redevelop Hytale's tech fundamentals in order to deliver a game that meets the expectations of players and creators. After a period of investigation, we committed to building a new custom engine and brought on a development partner to help us do so. And so they said that they realized they needed to redevelop the entire game, something which on a tech level they've only truly started, because they said this year we brought engine development fully in-house and steadily expanded our team. In a very exciting milestone, we hosted our first external playtest, a sign of things to come. And then they say that they started staffing their team so they're ready for 2024. They're integrating their gameplay systems and workflows of the new engine and moving our creative and prototyping efforts forward in preparation for the next wave of playtests. In other words, Hytale has been in development for years now, but it is still nowhere close to completion. A 2024 release date seems laughable and isn't being mentioned by anyone, which means that the earliest we could see if everything goes perfectly is 2025. Say something whatever you like about Mojang, but they seemingly are working on lots of projects, and one of the big challenges they have is keeping things on time, because ultimately there is a big sacrifice in that if you want to make things perfect, it takes a lot of time, but eventually that time is going to add up to the point where, you know, people are going to remember Hytale by 2026 if that's when it comes out, and the answer is maybe, because based on the comments I've been receiving, it's cool, but it feels like a mob that fits more with the Hytale art style is something we saw, and that's cute, but it feels like Minecraft is slowly becoming Hytale. Again, these are both comments based on the breeze. If Minecraft was smart, they'd be using this time advantage they have right now and the fact that they're making yearly updates to actually make some big risks in these, and that is something I hope is going on in the back end. As Minecraft have discussed, they know the next few updates ahead of time, and so they actually are very likely to know almost everything they've got planned for this update. I hope it's going to be a good one, because this is a big opportunity for Mojang. It's the 15-year anniversary of the game, and so it's extra important that they get this right, that they show something strong, and don't just say, yeah, we're resting on our laurels, we're saying that Minecraft's a great game and doesn't need changes, and it's a cash cow for us to just keep sitting on, but instead they say, no, Minecraft can be better, we're going to make it better, and we're going to do so in a wonderful way. I hope they go for that second option, and indeed, I'd like to know your thoughts. Do you think Minecraft should be super cautious because they've got the biggest game of all time under their belt, or do you think they should be taking these risks, even if it means some features that aren't going to be universally liked? I think this is the big debate that maybe Mojang has internally, so I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. And also, if it is December and you're inside and you want to play some more Minecraft with your friends, but you want to do something a bit bit more interesting, try out Ultra Flat Survival. It's available on the marketplace right now. It is the ultimate super flat survival experience. We fixed all of the weird quirks and twists that Minecraft Super Flat has and made them much better with 16 biomes with the ability to play it in survival, creative, structures, no structures, and many other additional game modes. And the best bit is if you want to play it with friends, only one of you needs to purchase the map and you'll get updates for life, and all of your friends can play with those as long as you invite them to the world, something which I think represents some great value this holiday season, and I hope that you consider checking it out because it does help out the channel. Speaking of helping out the channel, thank you for watching. Smash that like bell and subscribe to that button like bell, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. That nailed it. Okay, I'm doing wonderfully today. I'll see you in the live stream tomorrow, by the way. Gonna be going to the Nearlands. It's gonna be fun. Bye.